Hey, how's it going? Brad Riley here and welcome to another video. And in this one today, I'm gonna be going through a 5-step action plan for you to get 5 clients in 1 week. Now, if you wanna learn exactly how to do this, I highly recommend you stay until the end. But if you are new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss another upload. And on a final note right here, we are literally down to our final few copies of this book. So we will sell out today, like 100%. At the time of watching this, we are going to sell out of this book today. So if you're interested in grabbing yourself a copy, I highly recommend you check out the link in the description. If you just cover the shipping, I'll send you the book for free. And not only that, you get access to 4 insane bonuses, including a live sales call of me closing a 6K deal, a 30-day action plan step by step so you know exactly what to do, also a niche cheat sheet, and then finally a 5 pillars of SMMA training, which is an advanced 40-minute training which you get immediate access to, as well as this book, which is literally all my best information that I've taught to my thousands of successful students compiled into one book. So if you're interested and you really don't want to miss out, I highly recommend you grab yourself a copy. If it's available to buy right now, that means there is still availability, but unfortunately if you click it and the website isn't there, it means that we've sold out of copies. So go ahead, check it out and don't miss out. But anyway, let's get into the video today. So as mentioned, I'm breaking it down into 5 key steps for you today so you can get 5 clients in a week. Now, I just want to preface by saying this is no small feat. This is a big task. I have done it, I've had students that have done it, and I wanted to compile to you like an action plan for the best way to go about this if you want to close that many clients in a week. Now, one thing to just make this go as smooth as possible, I want to make sure before you do any of these action steps, before you plan to get 5 clients in a week, you need to make sure that you've got your systems in place. You need to make sure you have a team ready to go. Unless you're running the ads yourself, if you plan to get a team, make sure you have them in place. Make sure you have your Slack system set up. Make sure you have your onboarding ready. Make sure you've got your logo and branding and reporting, just everything set up so you can put your whole focus on getting customers. Because if you don't have the rest of that stuff ready and you start getting clients and you start getting customers and then you have to start building out all of that additional stuff, you're going to be taking time away from focusing on getting more customers. So again, that's not a great idea. So the first step for you today, very simple, very important. If you want to get 5 clients in a week, I recommend you focus on high intent leads. You want to focus on warm lead sources, just because if we're trying to get 5 in a week, well, we want something that's got quite a small sales cycle. Meaning, if you do cold outreach, you might cold call, you have to get past a gatekeeper, you have to then get in front of the owner, then you have to set up a meeting. The meeting may be for next week, then they're gonna have to think about it. Like, it's a lot longer of a sales cycle. With warmer, high intent leads, I've literally reached out to people before and literally within 30 minutes had money in my bank account, just because they're high intent, they're looking for help. So if you want to make this work, my best advice, step number 1, is focus on high intent leads. So number 2, again, nobody said this is easy, but I need you to hit at least 100 outreach every single day. Now, to be honest, from my experience, to do warm outreach, I can do a lot more because I'm a bit more experienced. I've been doing this for years, but as a beginner, I think you could comfortably hit 15 to 20 outreach every single hour. Let's call it 20 because that means you do 1 every 3 minutes. And to be honest, if you have your systems in place, your scripts in place, your messages in place, and you just essentially have to find the leads and reach out to them, 1 every few minutes like that is definitely possible. So if we call it 20 per hour, that's 5 to 7 hours every single day of outreach for you to be able to hit 100 outreach every single day. It's funny, people say like, whoa, 100 in a day, but if you think about it, you would go to work, like let's say you work a normal 9 to 5 job, you will go to that job that you hate and work 8 hours. Why? Well, because you're accountable, you're getting paid and you kind of have to. So why not treat that same level of discipline with your own business? I know people who struggle to commit to 10 outreach every single day that will take them an hour. You need to get your priorities in place and you need to be willing to hit 100 outreach every single day. There's no point in 1 in 5 clients in a week, but they're not willing to put the smart work in alongside it. So again, 5 to 8, 5 to 7 or so hours every single day, focusing purely on outreach to those high intent leads that we discussed. Because if you're doing 100 outreach every single day with these higher intent leads, you should be getting at least a 1% close rate, which is, for every 100 outreach you do, you should at least be closing 1 on those higher intent leads. So that's why I'm saying it, to be safe, you should be doing at least 100 every single day. And on another note to this, by the way, if you have the money, you could even get a VA to help you with this. So you can do 50 hours a day and you pay a VA to do the other 50. There's ways around this. If you have more time than money, cool, you have to put the work in. If you've got more money than time, perhaps you use that money, invest that money money and get a VA to do it for you. That's another option. So number 3, so important if you want to close 5 clients in a week, you need to be tracking all of your leads inside of a CRM. Now, you can use whatever you want. Honestly, if you want free, basic, you could use Trello as a CRM, and I've even got videos on this channel that go through that. Whether you want to use Pipedrive, you can use whatever you want as a CRM. But ultimately, what you want to do is you want to use a CRM to track all of your customers. You want to make sure you're keeping track of what part of the sales process are they. Are they ready for a meeting? Are they in the close phase? Have they just responded to you? Like, where are they? Having a CRM and being able to track what part of the sales cycle, what's part of the sales process the lead is in, will make your life incredibly important. It'll make your life so much easier, and it's so important to your agency. Also, inside of CRMs, what you can do is you can track all the important information. Now think about it, if you're doing 100 outreach a day, those leads are going to stack up quite fast. So as you start getting responses and having calls, it can be very easy to lose track of where you are and who you're talking to. So inside your CRM, you can have notes, you can make notes on the sales calls, how it went, all the important information like websites, what they're looking for help with. You can have that all in your CRM, and you can put that lead into a certain part of your pipeline. So, you may say, okay, this person has just responded. This person is interested for a meeting. This person is set for a meeting. This person's agreed on price, but they haven't paid yet. This person's paid. And you can move them up and down that pipeline with all of that information. And again, the last thing you want to happen, and again, this is just a real quick story, some advice from me, is before, it was when I was heavy scale stage in my agency. It was actually where I scaled from 0 to 10K in under 30 days. And I was speaking to a bunch of leads. I was constantly contacting all these people. And because I wasn't using a CRM at this point, this was quite early on, and I made the silly mistake of not tracking it. I had a guy who was literally ready to pay, like honestly interested, ready to go. Only thing he was needing from me was to send the payment link, and he was gonna pay. But because I was talking to all of these leads, I completely forgot about it. And then he messaged me and said, hey Brad, still waiting on this payment link. And it was like 3 or 4 days later. Now, that client did end up closing, but the point is I could have easily have lost him there. And also, like, I was lucky that he reached out to me and said, look, I wanna pay, I wanna move forward. But at the end of the day, I should have just got that deal closed 4 days ago before anything happened, before he got busy, before somebody else came along. Like, there's a bunch of other factors. So the point of the matter is, use a CRM, track it, and don't make the mistakes that I made initially back on when I first started my business. And number 4, if you wanna close 5 clients in a week, you need to be getting commitments on every single phone call. You need to get commitments. If you're speaking to 10, 20, 30, 40 leads every single week, and more, to be honest, if you're on calls every single day, multiple phone calls, you need to make sure you get the most out of those calls. It's like, we wanna work super hard, right? But we also wanna work smart at the same time. And one of the smartest things you can do in sales is get commitments. Now, the best commitment of all is, I'm gonna pay. Here's the invoice, here's the payment link, settle the payment. That's the best commitment. I'm committing to you, I'm signing a contract, I'm paying. But you can't always get those commitments. But even getting your foot in the door with something simple like access, get them on your Slack channel, or get access to an ad account, or get login details to a social media page. Get a commitment to another phone call. At the end of the call, if you're left and they're unsure, they're gonna think about it, rather than just leave it, get a commitment for another phone call. Very, very basic, very simple, but it just sets you up to get that foot in the door. And I promise you, when I started implementing this, nothing, like literally nothing that I did in my entire sales process helped as much as this. Just get commitments on every single call. The best commitments, payment, contract signed, and whatnot. But at the very, very least, get another call set up, get access to an ad account, get login details, or whatever it may be. So the 5th and final tip that I have for you, so simple as well, but I do not want you to send a single proposal. I don't want you to send proposals. It's so funny because people always think they have to send proposals, and to be honest, they're my biggest pet peeve. You don't need to do it. Now, trust me, I've been in this space now for 3.5 years. I've worked with so many clients. I've honestly sent so many proposals in the beginning, and let me tell you this, they are nothing but a waste of time. There's nothing that you cannot say or speak about on a phone call that you can write in a proposal. The truth of the matter is, often prospects will say things like, let me think about it, can you send us a proposal? As a way to cop out. Everybody wants to save face. Prospects, they want to save face. They don't want to tell you on the phone call, that's too expensive or I'm not interested. So instead, they'll just default to, send me a proposal and I'll think about it. And what happens is, after that phone call, you go off, you spend an hour putting together a proposal, you send it to them just to never hear back. Now, can you sometimes close with proposals? Yes. Have I? Yes. But the percentage at which you close compared to the time input, and also the fact that you can speak about it on the phone anyway, is just honestly the biggest waste of time. And if you're doing 100 outreach a day, you're spending 5 to 8 hours a day doing the outreach, then you're on sales calls, you're gonna be grinding, putting in this work. So if you're then having to spend hours every day sending proposals, it's a complete waste of your time, and to be honest, you don't have enough time to do it in the first place. So look, if anybody ever says to you this, hey Brad, can you please send me a proposal? My response is always, hey John, to be honest, I don't actually send proposals just because there's nothing that obviously we can't speak about here on the call that I can then put in a proposal. What is it that you'd like to know? And honestly, for the like 99% of the time, like 95% of the time, honestly, it's just, I want to know the price. But often prospects are like they don't necessarily always want to talk about price. So in which case, if they say, oh, it's just I wanted to see a bit more about what you offer, your services. And I said, okay, so if it's about price, let me just price up right now on the sales call. So this is actually going to be $1,000 per month. And then what's going to happen is they'll give you their real reaction. They'll either be like, oh, okay, wasn't expecting it to be that much. Boom, there you got it. You got the objection, and then you can overcome it. And then if you know 1,000's too much, you can start negotiating. Well, I'll tell you what, if 1,000's too much, I'm really interested in working together. Would you be open to doing like $750 per month for the next 90 days? Then after the 90 days, we can go back to the original agreement, original retainer, once you've seen that we've got you some fantastic results. How does that sound? And often they'll be like, you know what, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much. And then because we're long-term thinkers here, we're not short-term thinkers, we're long-term thinkers. We're taking a bit of a pay cut for the first 90 days, but then after that, you get back up to the normal retainer and have a nice long-term relationship. So, it's little things like that, which if you just send a proposal, it's a lot harder to negotiate. It's a lot harder to overcome objections. And like I said, there is nothing you can put in a proposal you cannot talk about on the phone. So understand this, your time is valuable. Every time you agree to a proposal, you're probably doing that because you're scared to price on the call. Don't be scared to price. Honestly, I was like that in the beginning as well. Just say your price. And if you're not a good fit, you're not a good fit. Sometimes you get objections. At least then it gives you the chance to overcome them. But probably most of the time, what's going to happen is they'll say, okay, cool. Yeah, no, $1,000 a month actually sounds fine. I'm also curious to know what exactly I get for that money. I'm like, okay, cool. So what you're going to get is this, and this. How does that sound to you? Is there anything else that you thought you may want? Any other additional service? Any add-ons? And then you open up a conversation. But the point is if you want to close clients consistently, you get the commitments on the call and you don't send proposals, you price on the phone call and you overcome objections there and then. And if you do all of these things I said here today, you've got a very high chance of closing a client every single day. 5 in a week, 3 in a week, 2 in a week, whatever it may be. But if you follow these steps, honestly, this is pretty much the best way for you to close clients consistently and quick. So there we have it anyway, guys. I hope you found a bunch of value in this video. If you did, please drop a like rating. And on a final note, if you're interested in having me personally mentor you every single day, for me to hold your hand, help you, guide you, not only are you gonna get full personal access to me as your mentor, but we got weekly live calls, hundreds of hours of training in the members area, scripts, templates, you name it, we have it. But the best thing about it is it's literally only 29 bucks a month. And it's crazy because, I see everyone out here and it's fine, you price whatever you want, right? But people price 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $10,000 a month for their mentorship services. But the truth is, if you're just starting out, you want to get your first few clients, you want to scale up your business, like you can't always necessarily afford $1,000 a month. I know I couldn't. And that's why I wanted to make something really low cost and affordable that can help people, but also massive high value. So no strings attached, cancel anytime. If you're interested in that, we have a one-on-one chat. I'll help you every single day, give you action steps, whatever it may be. I'd like to invite you to check out the top link in the description. Thank you again so much for watching. And also don't forget, we're basically sold out of the book as well. We've got the final few copies available. So seriously, you don't want to miss out all of my best information. Go and grab yourself a copy. Links in the description. Thanks so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.